All right, so this is Buck City Kennels live, and we back with another exclusive. Occasionally, this is what I'm going to be doing, scrolling through the Bulldog community, and as I'm watching videos, there might be some videos that I really took a liking to, or I felt had a lot of substance in it that I wanted to bring to the table. So today we got Southern Triple J, a really good channel, really established channel. He's one of the big dogs in the YouTube community. If you guys haven't already went over there and subscribed, you know, that would be appreciated. I'm all about supporting other channels, and if I see people doing good content and see people doing content that's very helpful, like I said, I'm going to bring it to the forefront. So we got a video. It's titled Dead Game Dogs. And, you know, he was talking about some things that a lot of the times I get into deep conversations and go down rabbit holes, and I talk about some of this stuff. And sometimes I just feel like it falls on deaf ears. Like nobody's really hearing about what I'm saying. It's like if you haven't been caught up, if your yard has not been taken, if you've never faced any consequences behind these animals, I mean, kudos to you. You know, you deserve recognition and a plaque, and or you know, he said you deserve privacy, you know, whatever you want to call it, for your accomplishment. But it hits different when it happens to you, and so you're one of these guys trying to shed some light on the situation, and it feels that as a community it's not being very receptive. So I salute these channels that keep coming with the content, keep coming with things, keep getting us to think about this situation and about different situations with other angles, other dimensions. So let's get into it. It's not a very long video. We're going to be on here for a minute though. So, you know what to do. Blaze up, do what you do. It's a wake and bake. This is a wake and bake, just in case you didn't know.
My folks, I hope y'all are doing good. We got to have a serious video. I hope some of you guys have enough between the ears to understand what I'm saying, and enough understanding of what's happening that you remedy it. All right, we're talking a little bit about, let's get a little bit about an update about what's going on with the case. Randle Thaxton, for those that was wondering, he is, they're going to a jury trial right now. They're trying to give him prison sentence. Now think about that, guys. They're trying to give this man prison for selling a puppy. For selling a puppy. Not with any intent to fight or nothing. He didn't, that was never, he'd make you sign a contract and everything else. Those that know Randle, know that if you've been in dogs 30 years or more, you know that he just is kept a nice family of the Jeep Rascal Homer type dogs, and it's kept them alive. So
this sounds like a friend to Triple J. I don't really know the guy right off the back. You know, I'm not really good with names and everything. You know, if I see a face, you know, maybe that might be a little easier to you know, find out if I know this guy or who else was he. He's some dog man in history or whatever. But obviously it's a good friend, somebody that he cares about. He's showing concern about the situation, and he knows that not in most cases, I'm not saying in most cases, but these type of things happen. This guy is looking at jail time, possibly prison time, for selling a puppy. Let's get into it.
And that's his deal. That's what he does. It's something like with me. I enjoy breeding my dogs. Now I'm able to use mine for catching swine, or bovine. We'll catch a fucking bull with one too. It don't matter to me. But you know, we're still able to work them. And Randle was big on selling his dogs to people that worked them in the woods. You know, and that was it. And that's all he did. Maybe breed a litter a year or two. You know, not a big deal. Maybe one litter every 2 years. You know what I mean? Not no big time breeder. But yet, they found paperwork, and that's what they used to get a warrant, a rubber stamp warrant. And
it's because it's easy to explain to a judge that this man is doing this for a certain reason or whatever. They're saying these groups that they're a part of, they're, you know, all of this shit they label as, you know, your acquaintances, the people that's in the ring with you. All you guys are a part of this illegal enterprise. That's how they look at it. Now, I don't know if dude is a social media figure or if he does anything of the nature at all. They're also gonna plug the paperwork in and say, well, yeah, these dogs have this type of lineage and whatever, that they ultimately could be used for the facilitation of the sport. You know, and it's fucked up.
Destroy the man's life. Take his animals. Now, this is not the first time this has happened to him. It's the second. So during that first go around, kind of learned quite a few things about the actual dirty tricks that's played. Before we get on to the dirty tricks, let's talk about what they're using, all right, for evidence. And I want y'all to think about this. Their theory is that Thaxton's dogs had Weird Jack in them. They claim that Weird Jack was a fighting dog. Therefore, Randle Thaxton was breeding fighting dogs. Think about what I just said now. Think about that. Now, that dog was rehomed 20 years ago. And when Joe had that dog was a show dog.
And in court, they don't really care. It's the prosecutor that doesn't know shit about dog cases or dogs. These type of dogs, American Pitbull Terriers. He doesn't know shit. The judge doesn't know shit. Right? They hear about it in a negative connotation. They're not hearing about it like, you know, there's this show with 5,000 people and families and they're wall climbing and doing shit. You know, there's no webinars going on about putting this breed in a positive light. So let's not act like, you know, we're dealing with something that's got like this squeaky clean image. The Pitbull Terrier has a fucked up image. So they don't care rather if it's off a Weird Jack or goddamn, you see what I'm saying? If it comes down the line, 5 or 6 generations down the line, 4 generations, 3 generations, they're going to look at it like, okay, this and that. You talk to this and that. You've got messages with this and that. One of your Facebook posts said this and that. Of course, we're going down the rabbit hole. I'm not talking about any of these individuals. You know, when I lead to accusations like, you know, if you're using social media or not, because I don't know these gentlemen. But I know the law. And I know how they'll pull loopholes to try to swindle you and try to swindle your lawyers. A lot of this information you're going to have to do on your own because the lawyers are not going to know how to defend you.
After he left Joe, I don't know what happened with him. I didn't hear from him anymore. But I do know when Joe had him, he was a show dog. Okay? Now, if someone else wanted to come up with some fantasy, you know, they always like to bring up that Sporting Dog Journal. Y'all do realize that that Sporting Dog Journal had more bullshit in the Mad Magazine, right? Just saying, you know. And if you don't think that the law enforcement got their copies of the Sporting Dog Journal, you're sadly mistaken. I know that for a fact. So understand that.
Well, they're getting their copies because they rolling up on people's operations and they getting books up out of the spot. That's how they're doing that. They're not just this sophisticated fucking, you know, that like they're taking everything. They're taking everything. They're taking every little fucking receipt, they're taking everything. They're taking pictures of everything. They said the ADBA is a front for dogfighting. I got the paperwork. They said ADBA, they use it for this front. And a lot of dog fighters use that. So they don't give a fuck about that. That's why it's important that we do different and do things different when it comes to these animals.
If they got their copies of it and knew exactly who's to say they weren't writing into it. Just think about that for a minute. But I want y'all to think about what's going on with that. He is being charged because of a dog in the pedigree 25 years ago. All right? So you guys, I see a lot of this stuff coming online now. There's even new channels every day. And you're talking about stuff that needs to be left alone right now. I'm not being a hypocrite. I know that I used to speak a little bit about the history, but you can't even do that no more. It's sad, but you can't. That's why I went in there and I took fucking 50 videos out that may have give someone the wrong idea.
Hey, it's good that people are looking at it in that way. I looked at it that way when I got in trouble and I was looking on YouTube and I was seeing how people were conducting themselves and talking about dogs and doing things, you know, and it definitely didn't make me feel comfortable. It definitely made it easier for a judge and a prosecutor that doesn't know anything to conjure up a bunch of shit and them to say, well, you know what? Here, I'll give you the search warrant. You said that you can find this, this, and this, and this is going on. You know, they make it seem like it's a very, very bad situation. And to a judge, the judge don't know. The judge is just trying to sit there and either deny it or accept it. They feel like they got enough evidence to present it to the judge to get a search warrant on whatever it is. And you're at that judge's discretion. After they get the warrant, they got days. They got days to serve it. It's a long time. I mean, you know, considering. It's like more than 24 hours. Okay? So this is important. This is important. How are we going to conduct ourselves when it comes to these animals and how we address these animals? Okay. When I did my breakdown videos, if you check, you can check a lot of them out. A lot of them don't show any type of merits or anything for a dog, whether if it's make-believe, whether if it's some so-called real shit. So it's good that we're taking compassion and loving our fellow dogmen and putting our arms around them.
Yeah, I just took them down. They had a lot of good information in them, but there was things that I said about the dogs from the past that may could be misconstrued and used against somebody. So I made sure those got down. Now there's videos now that all they are is repeating. It's like a parrot. You know, things that have been online for 25 years that are constantly being put out and entitled crazy, like, oh, fighting dog, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to tell you something. There's only so many real dogmen in the world right now. That's just all there is to it. And when you put a video out like that and it blows up, I proved it. I showed a friend of mine. Now, I took the video down right after I did it, but I said, watch this. And I titled the video, Dead Game Dogs. That motherfucker went viral so fast. Now, I know there's only so many real dogmen in the world, but they're all on it, hoping to get some little tidbit, some little shit they could use against somebody. You understand what I'm saying? And it was all on the title. So when these people are putting these out, real dog fighters, real fighters, and they're titling all this, and these guys are going online and speaking of this shit constantly, they're using that against people. Just know that. If you love these dogs and you got the dogs in your bloodlines, you might want to consider keeping your mouth shut. Because
that's cool. And I feel the emotion, you know, when it comes to this. Because like I said, this could be a good, respected guy, or this could be a very good friend. But it's got to be all across the board, man. You know, I mean, if we're going to do this is what we're going to stand on. If this is what the community is going to be, if this is what we're going to stand on, I mean, it's cool. Let's stand on it. But I don't want to think that the way everybody else was conducting themselves when I went down, I was fighting for years. You know, I was fighting. I was like Ali, you know, in the 15th round, you know. So we got to keep that same energy. We got to keep that same energy. We just can't talk about dogs any old kind of way, and then when somebody that's respected or one of our friends, then we automatically think about it like, okay, let's not conduct ourselves like this. But it was 50,000 videos of everybody just kind of winging it and doing whatever the fuck they want. I saw it. I'm sure they saw it.
Hey, say you got Mayday dogs. Well, Mayday was a known fighting dog. Guess what? You're breeding fighting dogs. They overlooked the point that even the dogs that they're giving away in the pound that they rehome and all that, if they're real American Pitbull Terriers, they originated from fighting dogs as well.
That's a fact. And that's something that you need to talk with your lawyer or your paralegal so that they can be aware of that. They can have that much knowledge, because a lot of times those private investigators and different things, depending on where you're at, maybe they might be seasoned as a motherfucker and know all about the bloodlines and everything, and who's a litter mate and a half brother. Maybe they know everything about these animals. But if they don't, that's information that you want to give them. Okay?
All of them originated from fighting dogs. That doesn't give you a right to come and steal them from somebody and put them down. You know what I mean? But that's what they're doing. And I begged you guys before. I begged, watch what you say. Don't talk about it. If you want to give people tips along the way, how to raise their dogs, take care of their dogs, and teach their dogs to hunt. And
yeah, and they're saying that, and Jay, you should know this. They're telling people, they're saying that he's on here giving tips about dog fighting and training, feeding, homemade veterinary practices. You know, that's what they use. That's some of the bullshit evidence that they use. I'm not going to say that this is what's going to be the nail in the coffin or whatever, but after a while, like let's say you had to go to trial and they just drown the jury out, drown them out, all of the 5 or 6 different officers, 7 different officers, 3 or 4 vets, right? You got expert witness flying in from other states. I mean, they get real serious. And this is what you're going up against. Nobody's witnessing. Nobody's your fucking witness. What witnesses are you bringing that's saying, hey, I know this guy. He's a good guy. He sold me a dog. Or he sent me a dog and this dog was in the best shape of his life that I've ever seen, that I've ever gotten a puppy from. Or I was with so-and-so and he took my dog in, and when I was going out of town so I didn't have to leave the dogs at the house. Where are those guys at? Because they're going to have a whole army full of motherfuckers to testify against you. That's a fact. They're going to have a whole army of people lined up, taking numbers, lined up around the block to testify against you. Hey, I enjoyed this video a lot, and it's very educational.
proper nutrition, all that shit's great. But man, they're killing our dogs. And if you know, you should feel terrible if you get on that bandwagon doing all that shit about Weird Jack. Which I believe a lot of that is plants. We have a lot going on with our community. There's a lot of law enforcement that like to get in it and pretend that they're dog men and have, you know, get in with on the online thing, you know, and convince people they're real. They'll even go get dogs to convince you real, just to get you to fuck up and say something. They're going to come out after it's been a bad storm. That way you can say, ooh, you got mud in your water bowl. Charge you with that. Oh, my God, you're terrible.
Hey, and you better pay attention because they'll do that. It's a game. It's like they're strategizing, making a play in the Super Bowl on you. What time they come, who they're coming with, what vehicles, who parks on this side of the street, who parks on that side of the street. What information am I gathering? Am I the one just going to search the place? No, they're plotting. All these dudes getting caught with their license plates and, you know, all of this crazy shit going on. So you got to take it for what it's worth. Either you live in the life or you're not. Buck City's not. None of this content is used for illegal purposes. None of it. None of it. I just want a day where I can wake up and not be a dog fighter if I choose not to. And have to get judged off of what I'm actually doing, not what you think I'm doing.
Terrible person. It rained in your water bucket last night. You know, always keep your dogs on the par. Keep them up. You know, before I get any further, I had a question about ear mites. You know, how it was. Just every month when you worm, just carry one of these around and do ear mite treatment on every dog. I just got done doing that myself. If you do it once a month, you don't have to. I never had no ear mites because of it. I mean, you forget a little bit, yeah, you'll get them. Only if they're really in a dusty. I've only got them usually when in the wintertime when I get a bad batch of the straw. You might get a bad batch and they might have some mites in it or something, but for the most part, you keep your ears clean, you'll be okay. All right, and let's get back on that.
Yeah, I usually use Dawn soap. Of course, when it's warm out, I would use Dawn soap, put it real, lather good on the head, put something through them ears. Sometimes you can get a Q-tip and run through those little grooves of the ears and kind of clean the dog out a little bit. It's just from buildup. And it could be very problematic to your dog. The dog get to scratching the ears and doing all this stuff. And then next thing you know, they think your fucking dog got bites on them from fighting. Serious. And you might think, yeah, he's going to the extreme. But I'm dead serious.
Just like with the Tom Garner video, I mentioned Tom Garner's name. I knew when I put his name in the title what was going to happen. I knew I was going to attract the locos. And they're on a different level in the head, man.
It's content strategy.
These people are crazy. And you cannot find a jury that's not been corrupted and tainted by these organizations. They've all watched the PETA video, the commercials. They've all watched the Humane Society commercials. They all got it in their mind. They're going to fry this fucking dog fighter's ass when there's nothing but an affidavit from them. They haven't seen any proof. And these guys just pull shit off the internet and make it up.
And that's what they do to me. That's exactly what they do to me. But I still get guys that claim they're in the community siding with these guys, right? You're not going to get a fair trial. As long as you know this, I don't think it'll be any problems, though. And that's why I'm just kind of reacting. I'm enjoying the video, obviously. I hit the like button, Southern Triple J. Go check him out. He got a ton of good channels. This was one of the channels that you can definitely go to and get some content, some good content.
Okay, that's what they're doing. They're making up shit off the internet. I mean, it's just the way it is. I don't know how I can get it through the bad thing about the fraternity right now is it's the worst I've ever seen it. You got a lot of selfish people in there and all. There's no views or YouTube money in the world worth having a brother put in jail and his dogs killed. None. I quit even monetizing my video because I'm not going to be told what I can and can't say for.
Hey, man, that's factual.
Holding that over my head. And that's another dirty trick they like to play, is extortion. They come and take your dogs. You get a lawsuit against them. They say, hey, look, your dogs ain't dead. We deemed them dangerous, but we'll reverse all that and give you your dogs back if you don't sue us. But you have to work with us. Now.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. I'm sure it goes down. Usually they'll just try to, if you forfeit the dogs, they'll drop the charges. They do that a lot. And, you know, it's not easy just letting your dogs go, especially if you know that you wasn't really like in the wrong, you know. So those are the type of games they'll play. I never really seen them say, yeah, we're going to give them back just so you won't sue them. Of course, you got to take them all the way. It's going to be a long road before you get that far. But, you know, hey, they do a lot of janky shit. I know that.
Oh, what the fuck is that? Now, this has happened. Now, I know for a fact this has happened. I've seen there's paperwork on it. Shown. Okay? So, you're expecting a man that's done nothing wrong, that's not doing anything wrong, to try to set people up just to get his dogs back. Otherwise, you're going to kill his dogs. That's extortion. That's fucking extortion. That's illegal as shit. But they don't care. They got everything in their hip pocket.
If they're doing that shit, you motherfuckers better run for the hills, buddy. Because it's about to get nasty out here. If that's what's going on, you better watch it.
Are so convinced that these dogs are of the devil that they just don't give a shit. There's nothing that they won't do to get the end result that they want. They don't care if they break their oath, any of that. If they lie, if they're crooked about shit, they don't matter to them. What's up, buddy? He's a year old today. Today's his birthday. You know, they don't care. And it's a sad thing that...
See, he knows the dog's birthday and everything. That's one of those things that a good dog owner, they just naturally do. You just naturally know your dog's birthdays. It's important to you. These dogs are a part of you. So, you know, but shit's just got to be across the board. That's what I'm saying. The support, it shouldn't just be by your friends or people that you know. Okay? The support should be coming tenfold. We should be able to help our dog man out of these situations so that we won't have to take bullshit plea bargains, and we can take them all the way and win.
People that are supposed to be in our fraternity, supposed to be in our brotherhood, are educating these motherfuckers, constantly shoving it down their throat where they think that's how it is. They think that dogfighting is prevalent. It's just everywhere. That's just what it is. Because they're every time they turn on the thing, they're getting some new dude on there talking about it. Somebody that's never even had a dog between his legs talking about it. Somebody that's never even seen one talking about it like it's yesterday. Then you got guys that go on there and they talk about shit. They think they're safe because they're talking about something outside of the country. Well, they're like I said, they're saying, well, them bloodlines. And they always like to bring up the bloodlines and the breeders and all that shit. All you're doing is hurting these dogs and the people behind them that giving them to you. You're killing the folks that are working hard to keep these dogs alive and healthy. You know?
Now we got to, if this is going to be the code or what? Is this across the board? You know? Because there was a lot of that talk. I'm just saying. Like, I was fighting my shit for a long time, man. There's a lot of that talk. So is it just one of those normal things? It's like, okay, bro, you know, you're not going to get any traction trying to stop people from doing this. This is like, you know, spitting on the ground. Is this the code or not?
I don't hide my dogs. Animal control ride by, law ride by here, I just wave at them. I don't even care. I don't do anything wrong. I take really good care of my animals. Hell, I probably take better care of my dogs than I do myself. You know? And so I don't even try to hide them. I want them where I can see them in case something happens. I don't want them tucked off somewhere where I can't hear them or see them. You know? But it's like you can be wide open with it. They still will think you're doing something wrong. And they all are, it's warped.
That's their job. That is their job. Now, if they bullshit 5-10 days in a row trying to investigate some bullshit that is probably some dumb shit, but they still getting paid. Okay? And they're going to be on your ass. And these pit bulls, this is like, you know, when you go hunting, depending on what you catch, it gives you a different type of stripe for that day, you know. Or if you go fishing, you know, you get the big tuna or the, you know what I'm saying, you get the king salmon or whatever, the real big one. That's the catch of the day. Okay? Law enforcement looks at catching somebody with dog fighting like you're a hero. Because it just doesn't happen all the time. It happens enough, though. Everything else happens every day, too. You know, there's a drunk driver running around hitting something. What's more dangerous to the community? A guy that wants to fight a dog or somebody that has a drinking problem but won't stop getting behind the wheel? Right?
Man, go and read some of the comments. Go in there and look at that dude reading some of the comments on that last video I did. Look at that. Now, you think I'm bullshitting. There's a whole community of people that want dogs banned. Not just these dogs, all dogs. They think dogs should be exterminated. And they will do anything they can to make it happen, even if they have to pull some bullshit and lie about it. That's what we're dealing with, folks.
That's a fact. That is a fact. So you got to know this is what you're going up against. This is what the opposition looks like. These are the type of games that the opposition plays.
And these motherfuckers are playing it like it's a game or something. You know, it's not a game. You're dealing with lives. You know, these dogs are important to some of us. They're very important to me.
Right.
I've done lost everything I've ever had. I mean, I lost my whole family, basically. And so many loved ones. And these dogs are my family. I love them. These are what I do. I come out here, and I'm out here all the time. You know? And I enjoy them. And that's what keeps me going. And that's just like you sausage swallowing fuckers on there leaving all them comments and your rainbow shit and all that crap. Hey, man, I don't come on y'all talking about y'all. You know, it's just really messed up that a juror can cry over reading an affidavit on these dogs without any proof, talk about frying someone's ass and all that. But that same county, you can have a child molester and no one even bats an eye. No one even gives a shit.
I said the same damn thing. It's like, man, Triple J, man, you got to check out some of my videos, brother. If you haven't already, get on over there and hit that subscribe button. This is the shit I talk about all the time. I've been talking about this shit the whole time. I think that's why I really want to do a reaction to this video. They will be piled up at the courthouse, deep as a motherfucker. I told you about the time when I went into court late. So I get to court late. They're doing some in custody guys. So when I get there, I got to wait on like 3 or 4 in custody guys before my lawyer goes back up to the front and you know, gets me through the doors. There was a couple chimos in there. egregious things said about them on paperwork. You know, this is probable cause for them being arrested. It doesn't mean that it's true. It just means that the judge found probable cause. But the fact that I'm in that same position, but I got a whole cheerleading squad at my court date, and these guys had nobody at their court date, that lets me know what society gives a fuck more about. They got 69,000, 70,000 signatures to prosecute me to the fullest extent of the law, but they can't get one person to show up at the court date for that little girl. Right? So they could get this beast off the street. They'll rather get me off the street. And it didn't matter how much shit I did in the community. It didn't matter how many kids I coached. It didn't matter the good things that I was doing in the community. None of that mattered. They didn't bring up none of that.
They have humanized these dogs so bad that humans don't even care about other humans anymore. It's just nuts. And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with twisted psychopaths. It's just all there is to it. And I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. Maybe change up the program a little bit, at least for a while. You know, hell, we got so many. They have so many sources to get history. You don't have to give it to them on a silver platter. You don't have to talk about shit that no one even knows about. It's not making you look important. It's not making you look relevant. It doesn't make you look like you know anything. You want to help people, help them with tips. Help them with things you've learned along the way to make it, you know, easier on the dog men that are raising these dogs.
That's right.
Just seriously, guys, think about what I said, because that's what they're using. You guys keep talking all this bloodline and all this shit and putting titles out there. Well, guess what? When they knock on your door one day and they find some paperwork about bloodline that you've been talking about, and your little dogs out there that you're so proud of, and they take that son of a bitch and put the needle in him and throw him in the incinerator, you can think, well, I could have just shut the fuck up and not worried about what people thought about me on YouTube. And my little
right
dog would still be alive, and I wouldn't be sitting in jail for something I didn't do. Because that's what's really happening. It's really happening. They twist the narrative. They, you know, and it's just so fucked up that they always, and that's another thing about Tom Garner. All these prosecutors, all this, they always bring his name in it. He's got a whole community that want to have him locked up for breeding dogs. Now think about that, guys. They don't even go this hard after child rapists. They don't go this hard after none of that. But
I agree.
You fucking even have a pit bull or breed a pit bull, you are public enemy number one, and anything they do justifies it to get the end result. Watch what you say. Y'all take care, y'all stay safe, and y'all keep on bulldogging.
Yeah. So you know what it is, man. This your boy, Buck City. We got through that one right there. That was on Southern Triple J. Dead Game Dogs. That's what that video was. He had some really good dogs in the background. You know, all look like they've been taken care of. You know, not a single scar on anybody. Salute Triple J for everything that he's been able to do. And this is one of those things. I'm gonna be coming through, and if you got some good content, I'm gonna be reacting to it, giving my genuine reaction to it. Now, if I go back through and hear something maybe I went a little bit too hard on, or maybe because events are happening while you're watching the video, and your perspective is going to change about things. But for the most part, you know, you try to nail what you can nail and give your honest, organic reaction to it. So this isn't educating the content creator or anything like that. It's just, for whoever's listening. So you can get everything that he put in there, and then you can get a little bit of what I'm gonna add on it with the commentary. You feel me? You put it all together and you got something good. Anyway, this is Buck City. Hit the like button, subscribe button. We'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.